Just a small taste of Yusra's reporting there from Sudan over the last couple of years. Well, Mohamed Refaat joins me now. He's the Chief of Mission for the International Organization for Migration in Sudan, in London briefly, and joins us in studio this morning. Mohamed, thanks for coming in. I guess we got a snapshot there. There had been, I guess, over the last couple of months, some hope that the situation was improving, that the civil war was nearing an end. What's the latest on your perspective?
Unfortunately, the latest is that 1 out of every 4 Sudanese is out of their home, which means that we have almost 11.6 million Sudanese who are displaced inside Sudan, in addition to more than 3 million outside of Sudan. What does this mean in actual life? It means that if you are a family who used to have a house in Khartoum, you have been displaced from your home once or twice to several places, your girls have been attacked with rape, maybe. You cannot find enough water, you have to flee the country, and it has been such a horrible protection crisis so far.
Is it getting worse? Is there an end in sight or not?
Unfortunately, you cannot see an end in sight. It's getting more and more complicated because now we see more crises on top of the war. We see floods, we see cholera outbreak, malaria outbreak, and we see shrinking in the funding and access to those who need help.
Talk to me about that. What scale of international support has been given over the last couple of years, and what are your hopes for it continuing or improving from here?
There has been a lot of efforts that has been made, but definitely we cannot reach everyone. With the resources we have, we were able to help more than 3 million people over the last couple of years since the war erupted. But there are millions others that we cannot reach and we cannot help because of either access issues or the shortage of funds that the whole humanitarian community is facing now.
Clearly, whether it's the US or the UK, aid funding is being focused on, is being cut in many circumstances. Is that a direct worry for millions of people in Sudan?
It is. Thanks to all the governments that have been supporting Sudan. This is definitely an effort that publics and governments have been doing a lot. But let me focus that this donation that have been given to the UN and the humanitarian system has enabled the infrastructure for us to report on this crisis and to be able to explain the needs day by day. But also there are many other sources of funding that we have been reaching that without the government donation, we cannot actually enable the system that will protect people on the ground. I think we call for more, and definitely this year, at least for IOM, we are calling for $250 million at least that will enable us to save lives in this crisis.
Is that more than you got last year? Are you hopeful that you'll get it, or are the prospects, given the cuts to international aid, are the prospects of receiving that very low?
We are diversifying our funding. There has been a lot of promises that's been made. We are working on them. We are receiving only 6% of what we have asked for, but we are still hopeful that the world will not stop here.
Just as we start to wrap up, remind our viewers of the scale of the numbers, because I guess here on Sky News, because of Yusra's reporting, we have tried to shine a spotlight on it. But the scale, I think, shocks people every time they hear the numbers.
So Sudan, before the war, used to have more than 2 million people internally displaced. But after the war, it's ended up being 9.6 more. So I would say a city like London, the whole population of a city like London has been displaced. It means that 1 out of every 4 Sudanese is displaced. It means half of those population in Sudan cannot find enough food. More than 30 million people in Sudan are in desperate need for humanitarian aid.
Well, Mohamed, we thank you for stopping by this morning.